Hey everyone, and welcome back to another Etheria restart video. So in today's video, guys, we are going to be going over the Nikon Nana shell dungeon. The reason why I want to go over this today is because not only is it a milestone for the early game player, it's the first shell dungeon where you have the possibility of getting some mythic shells. These are awesome for a whole bunch of different reasons. They have higher stats, they got better abilities, and their passive rolls are way higher than what you're used to with the epic and the unique shells that were available to you prior. When it comes to the late game players, at level 50, that's when Inferno unlocks, and you can get 9 possible module emblems on your shell. So we're used to just seeing this right now, but once Inferno locks and you drop a shell, it has the possibility of having 9 of those. That makes module compositions like really, really cool to mix and match, and that's where the fun starts. However, the Inferno stages are really, really hard. But I wanted to walk through this because it's going to help, hopefully, the newer players for sure, and even some of the endgame players who are going to start trying to farm Inferno. Now, I need to put a little disclaimer here, okay? These guides are simply just to show you the possibility of teams available to you, okay? It's not supposed to show you the teams themselves for you to replicate and build. That's not what I'm doing, because almost certainly someone will not have a hero that I'm using, or they have no idea how I was able to get the stats that I got. And that doesn't help anyone. The reason I mention this is because there are way more efficient ways to do this dungeon than what I show in the videos. That's because that's not the purpose of it. I'm not trying to show you the fastest team or the most efficient team. I'm just trying to show you what you can use based on your account in case you don't have all of the options presented to you, like in this bookmark here. Because I think everyone and their mother knows that you should just use Didding if you have him, right? Just throw him in there and no-brain this stuff, okay? Everyone has used this. There's 5,000 different examples. You don't have to think about how to build him. You can go in here and you can click and you can figure it out. That's not what I'm gonna show you. When it comes to the Inferno stage, that's why it's important to know the mechanics. You want to learn it now on the Hell stages. So whenever you get to Inferno, if you don't have a cheese composition like with Shadow Sonya, and this is a cheese composition, okay? 100%, and that's okay. If you have this character, you should totally use it. Why wouldn't you? If you can beat stuff that you shouldn't be beating because you have a character, then you should use it. But when it comes to cheesing, if you completely ignore every part of the mechanic that you are supposed to in order to beat that dungeon, but you don't do any of it and you can still beat it, you're cheesing it because you're not doing it the way that the dungeon was designed. But it's okay. You can do that. It's really cool that people have found a way to beat it without worrying about the mechanics. But that is my definition of cheesing. So if that rubs anybody the wrong way, it's not supposed to. It's just the whole purpose of this is to help players that do not have the capability to cheese or take the easy route based on the hero that they pulled, okay? So anyway, back to the video. The main key mechanic of this dungeon is you have to outspeed the boss. If you don't, your damage will be very minimum. It will not work out. Now, the thing that's kind of rough about this dungeon is your options for speeding up your team or decreasing the speed of the boss are actually kind of limited. The game does have some okay options, but like I said, they're few and far between. So they only have 4 AoE speed up characters in the entire game. Two of them are LD SSRs in Mio on her skill 3, and then also Lily on her skill 2. So if you don't have either of them, you only have two options in the red, green, blue genre here, and that's Tsukiyomi, who's an SSR, who's also great, by the way, because she has AoE speed up and attack up on a 4-turn cooldown, but she also boosts herself by 35% on her turn meter if you have her fully skilled up. So she will kind of loop back around to this 4-turn cooldown quite quickly. It's going to feel more like a 3-turn cooldown. So she's the one in the SSR, and then the SR option available to you is Kazumi Kazuyo. And she's actually great in this dungeon because she does both an AoE speed up while also reducing shell and animus cooldowns, but then she also has a speed down on her skill 1. So she's a really great option here. Tsukiyomi is as well. Tsukiyomi's also a positive element to this boss, where Kazami is neutral. So those are your only options for speed up. If you have them, you certainly want to bring them. If you don't, some decent speed down heroes that you can bring, one of which is Viper. I love Viper. I talked about Viper on the Fabian Shell dungeon because I said Viper is going to be able to be used in a couple other places, like even endgame. So Viper puts attack down and speed down, along with a possibility to dispel 2 buffs if you have him skilled up, which I think he's worth the skill ups. And this is on a 3-turn cooldown. The other thing that the boss does is the boss puts up buffs. So if you have the ability to dispel them, that's really key. And on Inferno, the boss gets 2 buffs. So that's where Viper comes in even more handy. So he's one of the AoE speed down people. And you don't need AoE speed down, but it does help because the minions on NicoNana also do things that you don't want them taking turns. So Viper's really great, I think, to even progress. But early on, I think Marvel outclasses him because Marvel has a really huge turn meter pushback along with the speed down. Granted, the cooldown is higher than what you see on Viper, but with the turn meter pushback, I think it kind of just makes him a little bit better. The other thing that you're going to want to bring, if you have enough damage out of your damage dealer, you can bring a healer for a little bit more sustain. But Nikon Nana kind of ramps up her damage the more she goes. So she deals 15% more damage every 2 turns of action. You don't want her to go a whole lot. So in this case, you're in a weird position where if you have speed up and speed down, you want to bring a damage dealer and a debuffer because you have everything cooking for you and you should be able to kill her enough before she starts doing too much damage. If you only have an AoE speed down, maybe you bring a healer. So let's go in and look, at a couple maybe example teams. So here, we're going up against a red affinity boss. So if you have a blue damage dealer, you should use it here. Mine is Shiada. And when we go through these runs, guys, just remember, I am level 57. I've been doing Health 4 module dungeons. I can do all of the shell dungeons. So, the damage here is going to not reflect what you are going to be doing, and you don't need to replicate it. But here, I have a speed up hero. I have a speed down hero in Klaus, which is an SSR version. I didn't mention her, but she's absolutely amazing. And she also does defense down and a bunch of damage amplification. So this is like a really easy, quick clear. I have Valerian in here for shielding and then also buffing up my damage dealer. She also plays into Shiada's kind of mechanics, where the more buffs she gets, the harder she hits. So this is an example team. So I'll do a quick run, and I'll show you essentially what happens whenever we use a team based on the type of mechanics that the game is wanting us to use. So we have speed up on our characters. So we've already increased the damage that we could possibly do to this boss, right? Now, our damage dealer is about to go. The boss has speed down along with defense down, and we have speed up. So the damage that we're doing to the boss is going to be amplified because the damage reduction is not there. So that's a very nice big hit, right? So what we'll do is we'll bring in another different type of damage dealer without maybe some speed down. Maybe we'll just try and bring in, a little bit of damage without any speed, like defense down on someone who can bring defense down. We could even just try this without Kloss and bring in the same team and show you the difference in damage. But this is where we're just trying to kill the boss quick enough where we don't need a damage dealer, a healer, to keep our team healthy because we both had speed up and speed down. Now, if we bring in a different team without the speed down or even speed up, you're going to see a much bigger difference in damage. So I got no speed up here. So the boss is going. And our Shiata is about to go. So here we go. She's got attack up on her. And she's going to go in for a hit. Look at that. Basically nothing, right? Now, granted, this was without any kind of, defense down or vulnerable, things that Dinah might end up being able to apply. So if we look at maybe what a Dinah can do, let's see if we can land one of her debuffs. She's kind of slow, so we'll bring her into the turn order here before we use Shiata's big attack. Oh, never mind. She used it already. Okay. Once she loops back around here, we'll just show how much damage she does now that there's a defense down. And you see these minions are putting up the attack up on this boss. So that's why I said Viper is actually really great in here, because if the boss is going and you're killing it slower than what I showed you in the previous run, Viper can go in there, put attack down, so even mitigating a little bit of the damage from the boss, along with the speed down to increase your damage. So as you saw there, I know that was a skill 1, but we had defense down up on that boss, and it still did no damage, because the important thing is the speed down. As long as you have speed down up there, that's when things are going to get a little bit easier for you. So let's bring in Viper now, right? Let's bring in the Viper. He's going to put the speed down on there, and we'll compare that to, basically what Dinah did. Okay, so we're off auto. None of these heroes have gear on them, by the way. And if you're wondering why that did so much damage, it's because the shell on my on my Shiata procced. Okay, so now we have speed down, and our Shiata will get to go. So this is no defense down or anything like that, right? It probably did double. Probably did double of what was on there prior to, someone having a defense down on there. So the speed down did way more damage amplification even without the defense down, which goes to show that that's how you're supposed to actually beat this dungeon. Okay? So that's basically how you do this, guys. I'm just trying to walk you through the mechanics of the dungeon and what you could possibly use to beat it. So a sample team, let's say if you didn't have Shiata and you wanted to use a fire damage dealer, you could use your Leon. that most people have at this stage. If you don't have Leon, you can even use, you know, a Chloros. If you have a Chloros built up, he's really awesome. If you have Shiada, use Shiada. If you have Messiah, you can use Messiah as your damage dealer. Who else? You can use Victor. You can obviously use Didding. Plenty of damage dealing options here. If you want the speed down, I suggest Marvel. I think he's best in this slot. Speed down, turn meter pushback. It's going to help you just kill the boss a lot faster, so you don't even need to bring in a healer. I think you can certainly use, you know, Valerian here. I think she's perfectly fine. And at this point in the game, everyone has Ling Luo. So, yeah, you could even use a team like this, right? My Leon doesn't work, but something like this. So we got the speed down from the Marvel. So once that goes, our damage from our Chloros will be much greater. And then the next few times that we smack this boss, it'll be pretty good. No, well, I guess with no gear on our Marvel, that's not really gonna work. This, yeah, I don't know if that's gonna work. Yeah, you gotta have gear on your guys. Let's just bring in Viper. He's got a little bit of gear on him. So we'll use Viper, Chloros, Marvel. And then that should be a wrap. Here I'm using Ling Luo just to keep the team healthy, keep us going, because if you have enough speed up or speed down on your team, I think you only need like maybe 1 or 2 heals on your team, and that should be enough. So as long as this speed down ends up staying applied, you see there that our Chloros got stunned. That's one of the things that those minions can actually do, which is another reason why it's really good to have the turn meter pushback, you know, on your team. Ling Luo is great here because she has the possibility to cleanse the stun anytime your team heals. But putting the speed down also on the minions is pretty good, because up until this point, our Chloros wasn't getting really any turns because they kept stunning him. So if you have the speed down on them from the AoE standpoint, you're going to be awesome. I did not mention, though, that, what's her name? Rosa has AoE speed down, and she's a great damage dealer, too. So she fills 2 roles. She's really awesome for this dungeon as well. So yeah, our damage dealer basically ramped up there, and we have enough sustain. We have, you know, the speed down from our Viper, allowing us to do the damage. But you see here that the boss is ramping up with the damage dealt. So you do need to kill it fast enough. But everything plays into that speed down. You really need to bring in the speed down or speed up on your team, or both. If you bring both, it's going to be better. But yeah, that's the dungeon, guys. I hope it helped. If you guys are struggling, try and implement those different mechanics in there, especially if you can't get the didding thing working. Okay, and then hopefully you drop this, right? You drop a good shell. Okay, that's all I got. I'm out of here. Catch you on the next one. See ya.